I would imagine you got to go through the protocols. If not this morning, yesterday.
You sure?
Am I sure?
There's a lot riding on tonight.
I mean, I can't imagine if somebody said, that Kim Mulkey was right. As bad as that sounded, she's right. We can't have a monkey wrench at this point, But then I look at I do believe if there was ever that thought, that the Alabama fan, the sad story out of Alabama, 23-year-old Bama student who went to Indianapolis and got back to Alabama, and within a week of finding out he tested positive, passed away over the weekend. I would like to think that if there was ever any of that thought, that went away when you heard that. I'm sure those kids were tested, although you turn on the TV right now, Rangers losing to the Blue Jays 5-1 in a very packed Globe Life Stadium.
Only 5. Incremental growth, my friend. Incremental growth. They've given up 32 runs in 3 games.
They just won.
Yeah.
Well, they won yesterday.
I'm saying incremental growth. I mean, they won, but they're having to score 10 runs a game just to stay in it. It's going to be a long season, though. The Jays up 5-1 right now.
Yeah, they only got 1 right now in the 7th inning. So the Jays still have plenty of opportunity to double up that 5-run total to get the Rangers back closer to their average. There's still plenty of baseball left.
Defense in the Metroplex is lacking. Let's just leave it there. What's going on in the water around there? Hey, coming back, Sam Darnold has a new address, at least for the time being. We'll tell you where he went and how much he cost. Game Night San Antonio will follow. Jill Jelnick will get us ready for Cleveland and the Spurs as they try to get off the schneid. A couple of overtime losses, and things have turned south completely. We're talking football next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
And right on cue, the Rangers give up another run. It's now Toronto 6, Texas 1. Hey, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. You get arrested, you get a phone call from a family member or friend that they were arrested. You want to get out of jail fast. The best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. Of course, they are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Get 100% sports while you give 50% effort at work.
Is that a rhetorical point, or would you like to do the math?
I'd like to do the math.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
You start getting old and you blame just about every malady on age, and you don't have to. If you're dealing with pain in your joints, or you're dealing with inability to sleep, or everything in between, look at your weight. If you're overweight, that's the first and foremost issue that you need to solve. And if you're looking to lose that weight, I want you to call Dr. Torres. I want you to meet the good folks down at the Institute for Functional Health. I met these guys about a year and a half ago, and let me tell you, it was not a move that I thought I would make. It was a timely effort, and it worked out quite well for me and everybody involved, because I had never planned on being on a diet, though I walked in there weighing nearly 300 pounds. I'm almost 6'5", so it's not like I felt like I was overweight, though I was deceiving myself. And after I got to know Dr. Torres and sat down with him, I realized that it was time to change things. Those things I blamed on age, well, that was weight, and I could fix that. And what I did was start to learn a little bit how to eat, what to eat, and everything that goes along with your general health. The food plays a role in that, a huge role. Dr. Torres explained to me that if you're going to lose weight, you need to get yourself in a situation where you're not on a diet, you're on a full lifestyle change. And that sounded scary to me. After a couple of meetings, though, I figured out what I need to do, got on the program, and let me tell you, The product, the output has been remarkable, down nearly 40 pounds a year and a half later, kept it off. Still got some more to do. I'm not completely proud of where I am, but I'll tell you one thing. I have had the guidance and the leadership from the IFF since the very beginning. See, what they did is they put together a program only for me, my biology in place, my genetics in play, my other issues that I'm dealing with, all put together in a program that was perfect for me to start losing weight. And above and beyond that, it's more about getting healthy. The losing the weight is just a byproduct of it. I want you to meet Dr. Torres. I want you to call, and he'll meet with you however you'd like. 210-468-1891. A program put together only for you, not off the rack, guided and coached by medical professionals. Go to the website, iffhealth.com. Peruse that. Take your functional health test. I promise you it'll open some eyes. And call Dr. Torres and let him explain to you exactly what I know. If you're sick and tired about being sick and tired, I want you to call the IFF, the Institute for Functional Health. Get on a plan, a program for the rest of your life. Make it longer. Call the IFF today, and I am sure you'll thank me later.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
You're a weekend do-it-yourselfer who likes to tackle the big jobs: tree removal, digging, hauling, or cleaning up a job site. For those big jobs, you need big equipment, and at Ewald Kubota, renting equipment is a breeze. Dependable Kubota construction equipment, tractors, zero-turn mowers, or utility vehicles. Get it done right and get it done fast. Right now, all new rental customers get a 10% discount off their first rental. This is the Ewald Kubota way of saying welcome. For a store near you, visit ewaldkubota.com.
Hey y'all, I'm Grant Pinkerton of Pinkerton's Barbecue in downtown San Antonio. We only smoke prime meats with a blend of post oak and mesquite. Come see us for some of those giant beef ribs, tender brisket, and a cold big red. We have a Texas-sized bar, great selection of bourbon, and tons of local beers. I love sports, so we have plenty of screens to watch them on. We're open Wednesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner or until we sell out. Come early, come hungry, and stay late.
Recent data shows that out of all the female-owned businesses, it is estimated that 1 in 3 is owned by a mom. CEO and founder Talia Goldstein is one such mompreneur. She needs to hire several matchmakers a month for her personalized matchmaking company, so she uses ZipRecruiter to find the right people for her job quickly. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/BART. That's ZipRecruiter.com/BART.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is the Blitz. We're going to be out early. 6 o'clock, we're taking you to Indianapolis live as the NCAA tournament's pregame gets started there. We want to make sure you're ready for the game of the week of the century. As Baylor and Gonzaga live up to expectations. We get what we wanted so many months ago right here on ESPN San Antonio. Game Night San Antonio will get going here in about 15 minutes. Jill Jelnick will join us. So late news with DeJounte. He will be out tonight. Sore foot. What we got?
Right foot soreness.
Right,
DeJounte's out, but Dang is listed as available. So, maybe we'll see him tonight for more than 5 minutes.
After he got zazzaed by a former Spur, his shoulder taken out in his first 30 seconds of the game. Speaking of, we'll get into the trade here in a second. See what Aaron Gordon's doing in Denver? Did he get off for about 20 the other night? I'm talking about playing possum. That guy worked out quite well. We'll talk Spurs and the rest of the NBA in just a couple of minutes. Sam Darnold was traded from the New York Jets, long anticipated. to the Carolina Panthers. They had been in play for a lot of quarterbacks over the time. They now have two. They gave up basically nothing, a 2021 sixth-round pick, and next year they get a second and a fourth due the Jets from Carolina for the deal. Now Carolina has both Bridgewater and Darnold. Somebody got to go.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, you would think, but I mean, even then, they're not spending a lot of money on that quarterback room, but they do have some trade capital as we get closer and closer to the draft, and you got to believe that Teddy is the odd man out in that room. I mean, you pick up the option for Sam Darnold, so you are paying him a little bit of money this year, but I'm curious to see what Sam Darnold is able to do in that Carolina offense. I liked him coming out of college. He's had some moments, I mean, he played brilliantly against a very tough Cowboys defense a couple years ago. We certainly remember that. I almost said that with a straight face, but I mean,
it's a W.
But you look at Sam Darnold and you just wonder, I mean, the jokes of seeing ghosts and going through mono and everything. He's 23. Mel Kiper said, after, mock draft 418, that if Sam Darnold were getting drafted in this year's class, he would be the second quarterback off the board behind Trevor Lawrence. So much potential. What can Matt Rule and Joe Brady do with him in Carolina? Just put him in a different system than what he had in New York, because it doesn't feel like anybody was coached up well with the New York Jets.
So with this move, the Jets seem to be ripe to get a quarterback. Looks like BYU quarterback is the one on deck. We saw what San Francisco moved up to do. We've started, now it's the weird draft season. Did you hear what Kirk Herbstreit said about Dan Orlovsky regarding his informed sources say that
well,
there's a work ethic issue with Mr. Fields?
I mean, and obviously, I think Kirk Herbstreit is protecting an Ohio State guy, yes, and also just I mean, Dan Orlovsky on the Pat McAfee show was asked, "What are you hearing? Why is he sliding?" And Orlovsky said what he was hearing, and it was about work ethic. Well, that turned to some racial overtones that because he's a black quarterback, he's got work ethic issues. And Dan Orlovsky doubled down, put a video on social media on Twitter that said, all right, I did some further digging, and I talked to a guy at Ohio State, and I talked to another guy, and this is what they're telling me. And I think that's where Herbstreit, went after him. It's like, well, why, before you go, talking about this other stuff, why didn't you make those calls first? And, Orlovsky's new to the media business, and, but Herbstreit for one ESPN analyst to attack another is unusual. It is unusual for a lot of the, for media going after one another for comments that they made, unless of course they're the panelist shows, if you want to go after Skip, that's what they're there for. Orlovsky, not really, but I was a little surprised that Kirk Herbstreit did that.
I find it interesting about Fields slipping. How is he slipping? The draft isn't started. We're still under a month away, and the rumors start floating around that he's slipping to who? The only thing that matters is the top four guys. Is he slipping in their minds? I don't think so. I think if you want a quarterback and you're either the Jacksonville Jets, 49ers, or maybe even the Falcons, one of those guys is going to get drafted.
It's lying season.
Yes.
And so, if you've got GMs that you're talking, we don't really like him because of X. We don't really, and that happens every year. And then, of course, a mock draft might have him not going as high because, mock drafts can't all be the same. Otherwise, they'd only put out one, and so you see that. I mean, quite frankly, he had some games this year where you go, well, based on this game, this is what we think.
Well, if I'm the Denver Broncos, I'm saying everything I can. He chews with his mouth open. He'll fart in a room without. He's just. I would be doing everything I could to get him to slip. There's a reason why some of this is floating around. Sure. It's not the top four picks. It's the guys that hope. The one guy they can defame just enough to drop to them. It all works out. I don't understand why slipping to who? I mean, how do you quantify slipping a month prior to the draft? Now, on draft day, if suddenly it's 8-9, we can talk about somebody slipping. But right now, we're talking opinion. Remember a year ago Remember a year ago when we were getting ready for the NBA draft and Anthony Edwards, the odds-on number one pick was, what did we hear? I don't think he loves basketball. I've been watching him, and I have the number 4 pick. And as the number 4 picker, I've been watching Anthony. And I go, I don't think he's good enough to be number 1. And if you're drafting, why would you want a guy who doesn't even love the game? Man, everybody's settled.
It's the time of year that you're going to hear all kinds of different things. This guy, loves. I mean, like, as often as the Cowboys are tied to Patrick Surtain, I'm pretty sure they're not going to take Patrick Surtain, right? I mean, it's just, it's never that easy. So you look at it, it is that time of year. It's unfortunate that, race is coming into the issue again, and for Orlovsky to, get caught up in, because I don't think that Dan had any motives like that. But you go on a show and this is what you're hearing and that's what you talk about. And then you double down. Well, I called his coach over at Ohio State and this is his, and it's just, but it's that time of year. You're going to hear it. Everybody's trying to figure out what everybody is going to do. But after workouts, some guys that maybe, are climbing the draft boards in various rooms, like, man, they really loved his workout here. So, do we honestly believe that any NFL team has released, we really like this guy? He's really no, none of this is true. This is all hearsay, innuendo, and just rumor mongering to get us like this to talk about it. And for Kirk Herbstreit to jump in with both feet and call out a cohort, dude, chill. Your Buckeye is hanging out, man. You need to just settle back and let the process happen, because other guys are going to go through this too over the next couple of weeks. Well, and again, agents are doing this as well. Yes. Like, I'm talking, they're getting in the news. Only the GMs and the scouts and the owners really, really know the truth, and they're not going to tell you anything. I mean, you look at the Jets, who in some ways 2 weeks ago made a strong commitment to Sam Darnold as being the Jets quarterback when they put his picture all over billboards and started a billboard advertising campaign in New York for season tickets with Sam Darnold's picture all over the billboards. Today he got traded. It's called Photoshop. You're going to have to fix that. Well, and they will fix that, but again, had they put up the billboards without his picture 2 weeks ago, people would have gone nuts. Where's your quarterback? I mean, very different than leaving one out of a social media video. I mean, the money that it takes to go change all the artwork at all those billboards, they could have put a picture of their new coach, but they didn't. They put Sam Darnold and his big head on all the billboards all over New York to sell season tickets. It's cheaper per square inch when you use Sam Darnold because the amount of space his melon takes up. It's cheap. If you're paying per square inch and his melon, it's costing you more. No, if it's a little head, you're not getting your full money's worth. If you got a big head, you're filling the screen. With his head, you get the regular square, but then you got to pay for the additional to fit the rest of the head on the billboard. Like an orange on a toothpick. Yes. Wow. You're brutal.
Looks like the Great Gazoo, man. Especially in a Jets thing. I'm
telling you, you get your money for it. That melon could hold 6-7 playbooks. There's all kinds of room when it's all said and done. Lots and lots of room. Hey, let's look for the Spurs to try to rebound and I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Darnold. I do not mean to call out your son that way, but I can't find anything. I got nothing in my life. I got literally nothing in my life but to make fun of a ginger-haired millionaire quarterback.
You got a smaller head than him.
Well, that's not saying much.
It's more proportionate.
I get the hats that he couldn't put on. When we come back, we're talking Spurs. Jill Jelnick of Sports2Nite and YOLO, Texas will join us. 30 minutes of prep to a 6 o'clock tip. They're taking on the Cavaliers tonight, and we got some bad news for your DeJounte fans. Won't be around tonight. We'll look at starting lineups and possibilities. Game Night San Antonio brought to you by Mellow Mushroom around the bend here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on gear, you need your logo on masks, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over there on San Pedro. He can put your logo on anything. You need new shirts made,
caps, jackets, uniforms. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from: medical, restaurant, service industry, construction, the professional look around the office. Sam can get that done for you. As offices are opening back up, you need new shirts for your employees, your new hires. Sammy's Embroidery Club is a great place to go. You got a family reunion coming up, you're all getting together, need some shirts made. Sammy's Embroidery Club. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with 1-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. You need one item, 10, 250, 10,000. Sam's Embroidery Club. The website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit them in that massive showroom. It's down on San Pedro, about a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots, right across from McDonald's. All items do come with a warranty, and you'll work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him, 210-824-3900, 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
We're your home for the Texas Rangers in San Antonio.
This is Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers.
Yet another Joey Gallo home run.
Brought to you by New Brakes Mobile Brake Repair. And powered by GPS of Texas.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
You know, it's that time of year where we'll all spend a little bit more time outside. Maybe it's time for you to upgrade your backyard experience. Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the company that brings you the best at home security and smart home technology. Not only is my security system from BSG, they also did my surround sound speaker system, both inside and my outdoor speakers. If you're out grilling or in the pool, BSG can build you an outdoor waterproof stereo sound system that will blow you and your friends away. You know, we've all been of somebody's house and you crank the music so loud you could hear it in the pool. You can't have a conversation on the patio. Well, BSG is your solution. They can fix that. If you want that, get that deep, rich sound for less, call BSG, 210-877-1222. These systems are so cool, they can even install waterproof subwoofers, TVs, and more. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety, the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222 or go to the website bsgtexas.com. That's bsgtexas.com.
We need the forklift over here.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Okay, those molds need to be adjusted. The shippers are coming at noon, so we got to get this done.
Like at Dennis's plastic startup. To stay flexible, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom here on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. We are joined, as always, by Jill Jelnick of Sports2Nite, getting us ready for Cleveland and San Antonio, a full weekend of sports. Jill, before we jump into the Spurs, I saw you down at the Alamo Dome all weekend long. Thoughts of on a successful women's tournament here in San Antonio?
Yeah, I think this championship game speaks for itself. Fantastic game, fantastic finish. And how about the hometown girl, Keanu Williams from Wagner, who played literally grew up 20 miles down from the Alamo Dome, brings home the state title. How fantastic is that? Talk about a storybook ending.
As you were, Jason earlier said he saw Russell Wilson. Did you see him?
Yeah. So funny thing about Russell Wilson, I was the Stanford women's basketball team got to go on the boats on the Riverwalk after the game. And they had this awesome parade for them. Really cool, big crowd. And I'm like hustling down there with my camera, trying to get a good shot. And I park myself in the planter. Like I'm literally standing in one of the planters to get the best shot of the team. Especially I want a shot of Kiana, like celebrating, right? And I'm like literally, if I were to take one step forward, I would be in the water. So I'm on the ledge and I get this kind of push from behind me. And I was like, oh no, who's trying to mess with me? And it's this huge, like 6'5" guy dressed in a black suit. There's two guys, black suits, like huge. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not messing with you. Sure enough, I turn, look over to my left, standing next to me, in between these two bodyguards is Russell Wilson. And I was like, oh, okay. That's where the bodyguards come in. Okay. So if I go in, if I get pushed in the water, will Russell Wilson save me? These were the kind of thoughts
that was your first thought.
That was your first thought, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna nosedive in and get saved by Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Aaliyah might be a little.
My first thought was try to get a soundbite, but then I was like, no, he's so engaged with trying to get a video of his sister Anna. And I was like, okay, how can I get his attention? Oh, let me just jump in the water accidentally.
Ciara might have been upset with it.
Maybe. I mean, but it's funny because I saw him in the hallway there in the Alamo Dome, just the main hallway, and he's got his security with him. But here I'm thinking, dude, I know you're trying to just be the big brother here. You're at the event, but you're wearing clothes with your logo on it. Your shirt, your hat is your logo, not Stanford, not all that, but it's your logo, and you're walking around with all the bodyguards. You might be trying to blend in, but that's not really how you blend in when you wear a hat with your own personal logo on it.
It's Game Night San Antonio. Let's focus. Go ahead.
No, all I was going to say was without those bodyguards, there was a huge crowd downtown on that Riverwalk. I actually don't think a lot of people noticed him other than me trying to run after him, surprisingly. But you're right.
It's Game Night San Antonio. It's always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Jill Jelnick joins us as we take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Early tip tonight, 6:00. The Spurs are 3-7 in their last 10, have stumbled consistently, lost some tough ones in overtime. We get late news today that DeJounte Murray will be out with a foot soreness, a sore right foot, so we're told. So starting lineup continues to be in question. Still no Lonnie, though some good news. We might get to finally get an extended game from Gorgie Dang, who looks like he's been cleared to play, though we're not sure if he will or not.
He is available. Pop said pregame he wasn't sure, but the injury report that got released a few minutes ago said he is available. So, extended minutes might be more than the 5 he got in his first game back, but we will see. But like you said, no DeJounte. Good news, I think, for the Spurs is Kevin Love is going to be on a minutes restriction for Cleveland. So, that might help San Antonio some. If there is helping San Antonio at this point, they are finding new ways to blow games.
Is it blowing games? Are they blowing them? Jill, do you think? We say blown. I mean, they're playing competitive at least till the end.
When you get to overtime, you're not tanking. You're not trying to lose games. You're doing what you can to win. You're just not executing down the stretch. I mean, DeMar DeRozan had a game-winning shot the other day that just didn't drop. So I don't think they're not trying to win. I just think that you're just figuring out new ways to lose.
Okay, so they're trying to win, Jill. With the idea of them continuing to try to win. As you watch the Spurs play, I'm getting grumblings from friends and family and people across the country are calling to try to, figure out what the Spurs are doing. And even in the Ringer today, as their power rankings come out, they fell 10 spots over the last power rankings, the 23rd in the NBA, according to the Ringer. And the write-up there kind of reflects a lot of what I think people are thinking, that the Spurs are stuck in thinking from a previous era. That what we were told at the beginning of the season, that youth will be served, we are garnering and planning for the future. And, if you're a vet, well, lead, follow, or get out of the way. And several have gotten out of the way. One is left. But yet, when I'm watching the Spurs play now to close games out, at least late into the fourth quarter, I'm seeing Rudy Gay play minutes well beyond I thought I'd see. I'm seeing Patty Mills continue to load on nearly 40 minutes a game. And I'm watching Keldon Johnson sit and watch the last 8 minutes of the game. What is the method to the madness here?
Oh, isn't that the question? Method to the madness. I love that, Rob. I honestly, the madness is the frustration with this team not being able to consistently perform, right? We've talked about their consistency a million times. But for me, what's most frustrating about this team is this second half team, the second half of the season Spurs is not the same team we saw before the coronavirus break, before the All-Star break. I'm sorry, but when we were on game night, we weren't having these conversations. We weren't questioning what's going on with Rudy Gay, what's going on with Derek White. We were more impressed by how the Spurs were able to find a flow and be better than our expectations going into the season, Rob. I'm sorry, but at the start of the season, we weren't having high hopes for this team. They kind of surpassed that in February and January when they topped some big teams and started to play some consistent ball. But we have not seen that since the start of the second half. I'm not going to blame it entirely on the schedule and the fact that they have barely any practice time and recover time, but I think that plays a large part in it. I'm just concerned about, like you mentioned, the way they're not finishing games and the way they're not able to come together and just figure this out.
It's interesting because while you think about the All-Star break and then the COVID break that they had, the tailspin kind of started when LaMarcus Aldridge left the team. And he was out for a while with a quote-unquote injury, and then he was on the bench, and then he was just gone. But you wonder if some of that veteran leadership in the locker room that we don't get privy to see very often, how much that factored in, because they did play well early in the season. We were talking at the time, they were ahead of schedule. Now, I don't know that at the time I was crediting LaMarcus Aldridge enough, but as we look at what has happened since he has left, he's taken all the W's with him.
Oh, yeah, they're gone one way or the other. Without DeJounte and Derek White getting the start alone with DeMar, how much you want to bet this offense flows a little bit better? I know that these three have been performing okay together. I'm not going to take away from the combo, but with them together, another 17 turnover night against the Pacers. Now, granted, there was some free basketball included in there, but sure. 17 turnovers. These three should be better. It falls on guards when you have these kind of turnovers, and the flow is out of whack. And we pull DeJounte out, and if we see Derek and DeMar go off and have a smooth night, do you think Pop would start to reevaluate his plan? Because it just feels like if something's not working, do you tweak it or do you just continue doing what you've always done, which is what Pop's way has always been? They're not thinking about tomorrow. They're thinking about next month when they make a decision. Well, maybe we should be thinking about tomorrow.
No, Pop's not tweaking anything. If DeJounte Murray's out with right ankle foot soreness, right? So nothing too serious. I think if you see the Spurs have a good game tonight, which God knows they need to against the Cavs, one of the worst teams, right? I honestly, Rob, I think it will you'll see Derek White stepping up. You'll see DeMar DeRozan taking on more of the load. We've talked about this before. The Spurs have even players in terms of their skill level, their production each night. We don't have that fantastic star that we can count on. So what do? Sometimes they rely on each other, I think, too much. And it's when Lonnie Walker's out, it's when Derek White's out, it's when DJ's out that you see that other guy step up. Keldon Johnson coming up big, Lonnie Walker having a big night. I think that's going to be Derek White tonight with the ball in his hand. He's been doing well. He's averaging 18 points. I think we're starting to see him kind of get a little bit more of a handle on his game. So I want to be surprised if we see that result, but nothing's going to come for that in terms of what to do with DeJounte. DeJounte is not the problem.
And it's not going to be after one game if you see some smoothness against a bad Cleveland team.
Don't poo-poo this. I know you guys are both poo-pooing this, but the fact of the matter is the Spurs are continuing to do what doesn't work. This does not work. It's not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of coaching. These three guys, this offense, this defense, with these five guys consistently out there, it's not working. It worked a while back, but we had help that is not here.
But again, you brought up the word defense. I mean, they gave up way too many points to Atlanta. They gave up 139 to a Pacers team. Cleveland barely scores 102 a game. So, I mean, it's not the offense.
Well, it's still the guys. It's the same dudes. And these dudes are not playing together. These dudes are individually showing us things when you see all three's numbers. Then when you add everything together and go, well, there were 17 turnovers and a 7-point overtime. What happened? At some point, when you watch a team that is drowning, well, they are drowning. They are now in 9th place and headed south with a bullet. At what point do you go, you know what? Whatever happens is going to happen, but let me see some of these guys that I've been waiting to see. Let's get more minutes than 9 from Luka. Let's see a few more than 19 from Devin, who offers some things that we don't have, one of them being defense.
Now, I hear what you're saying, but your question was one game tonight. If it plays better with no DeJounte, is Pop going to make a change? We've watched Pop for far too many years to think that he will do anything drastic after one game.
I want to quote to you from The Ringer. I want to quote to you what the writer from The Ringer said about the San Antonio Spurs. And this is from without coming to us. This isn't us saying it. This is somebody who has sat and watched the Spurs for years. Except the Spurs didn't make any moves to bolster their playoff odds. I'm starting in the middle of a paragraph. Saying so long to LaMarcus Aldridge was a step in the right direction for the Spurs. That shouldn't have been it. With veterans DeMar DeRozan, Patty Mills, and Rudy Gay all set to be unrestricted in free agency this year, San Antonio should have moved them and fed more minutes to kids. Instead, Greg Popovich is still giving minutes to older players, which means young guys like Keldon Johnson sat and watched the end of an overtime game and continue to ride the bench in pivotal moments. It is that kind of thinking that has to change. What will be the kicker for that? 12 straight losses?
Honestly, I mean, I read that. I agree. And I agree with your frustration and anger. But I've watched Pop too long to think he's going to make a knee-jerk reaction when they're still in the playoff hunt.
That's how coaches get fired.
But Pop ain't worried about that.
That's the problem.
Well, you're right. But that change that you're looking for, as long as they're in contention, he's going to go with the players that he trusts. And those are the veteran guys.
We'll get back, give you the starting lineups, and figure out how they beat Cleveland. They actually have done that this month. One of the two teams we've actually beaten. We'll talk about how they're going to do it coming up next. You're on Game Night San Antonio. It's always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Hang around. We'll give you starting lineups next here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast because, well, of course you do. You know, the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go to the website mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. Of course, they're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, 210-225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's time for ESPN San Antonio's Big Score. This hour's keyword is beans. Enter that keyword at ESPNSA.com for your chance to win $1,000. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
You know, injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Now, not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries, and he does concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through OrthoConnect. There's no reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm gonna let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
How clean is your nose? Most airborne germs and allergens invade through the nose, your body's air filter. It's first line of defense. You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? Did you know there's an easy way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself? It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to clean your nose by flushing out pollen, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and it comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. And 50,000 independent online reviews averaging 4.7 stars show just how much people love their Navage. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now you can clean your nose and help protect your health with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Make good nasal hygiene your new normal with Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor. You never really stop riding in your mind. Never. Unless you're thinking of something else. Like other thoughts. Progressive Motorcycle also presents Roadside Assistance. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Dinner just got a whole lot easier. Forget about grocery store crowds or figuring out what's in the fridge with HelloFresh. You just choose from over 25 chef-created recipes every week. Then you get a HelloFresh box at your doorstep filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that in as little as 20 minutes become restaurant-quality meals. And giving yourself a break is back on the table. Go to HelloFresh.com/BART12 and use code BART12 and get 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's code BART12 at HelloFresh.com/BART12.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili. Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio here on ESPN. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Jill Jelnick with us. YOLO, Texas, Sports Tonight. Spurs get Cleveland. No DeJounte tonight. Looks like the starting lineup will insert Patty Mills, Derek White, Keldon Johnson, DeMar DeRozan, and Jakob Poeltl will go off against Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Isaac Okoro, Kevin Love, who will be on a minutes restriction, and Dean Wade. The Spurs stumbling. This is a team that they can beat. They're going in shorthanded, so of course I expect them to play well.
Well, and it's actually Luka is going to be in the starting lineup.
Oh,
with Keldon, Yak, White, and DeRozan.
My prayer was answered. We sit.
I know, they're listening in the locker room right now, and Pop said, "Damn it, that Thompson is on to something." Why the hell not? I mean, we're in a tailspin, right? Why not, Dan?
Well, the persistent desire and desperate need to get into the playoffs. We all understand. We want to win, but there has to be kind of a long-term plan. Pledge, you got a quote that we pulled that I think sums up this situation perfectly. Let's see what you guys think. Sometimes you're doing things right, you're doing them wrong.
Rules are very simple. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But under no circumstances do you ask for the money back.
Why not?
Because it's not part of the rules.
Oh, yeah? And you know, Billy, I got a different set of
White men can't jump, by the way.
Here they come. Sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. And sometimes when you win or lose, you actually tie. And sometimes when you tie,
perfectly
you
clear.
Actually win or lose.
I hate it when you talk like that. It makes me crazy when you talk like that.
It makes me crazy when I hear it. Here's the deal: we have crossed. We are over the mountains. We have crossed the mountains. We see the ocean. We see the ocean, and the ocean is the draft. Let's coast to the draft, man. What I saw in Jalen Suggs is a guy that will transcend the team that he lands on, and he's going to land in the middle of the first round. They're going to look at him and say he's too short. He's going to fall in a place that would help the Spurs, and there's 6 other dudes that could do the very same. Yet, we're going to trudge along and stay at 9th and get into that play-in and find ourselves a first-round immediate out and sit at 12 or 13 and end up exactly where we were.
That was okay a month ago. So on April 5th, now it's just tank get to the ocean.
Yes, you can change your mind. That's legal in the United States. I have decided that this team is not what I thought they were.
Appropriately.
If you are riding the train to the playoffs, you're riding a train to failure. You might as well fail now because you're going to fail then. Sometimes when you lose, you actually win. All right, let's look at tonight. The idea of coming off the schneid is important. They tell us, and though there's rapidly changed that the Spurs
just went off the track. I think Pledge is about to have a heart attack.
No, we're gonna take it a couple minutes late.
We are.
We're gonna take it all the way into the 57-50.
Overtime. We're just like the Spurs. Why not?
Why not? We got nothing to lose. I forgot what I was going to say. I looked at the clock, and there we sit. Spurs, Cleveland tonight. We got a championship game. Jill, very quickly, make your call tonight. Baylor or Zags?
I'm going with Baylor. I'm going with the Bears.
Go
Underdog.
Bears. Bring home the title. We'll talk all about it tomorrow.
Let's do it.
This has been the Blitz.
You've waited 2 long years, but the wait is over. Diamonds Direct's spectacular spring store-wide sale is here, starting Friday at 10 a.m. The biggest sale all year with 20% savings. All earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, thousands and thousands of engagement rings,